No matter how the WNBA promotes its players, it could have been even better. But the league messed it up. It's possible that Caitlin Clark has received an offer from Europe that could permanently change the future of the WNBA. This could be a turning point. The league may never recover financially from this situation. As Caitlin Clark's potential move to Europe becomes more likely, it's worth asking if she would have stayed had she been treated with more respect. Now, her departure could deal serious damage to the WNBA. Who will watch without Caitlin Clark? She's incredibly talented and always gives her best. But right now, she lacks the strength and experience needed to carry the league alone. Unfortunately, these are the same individuals running the league who failed to support her. Throughout the season, Caitlin faced constant pressure and still managed to break records with ease. The league, however, was left in chaos. There was constant criticism about what Caitlin was supposedly doing wrong, but in my opinion, she did nothing except play outstanding basketball every night while ignoring hate from every direction. And the worst part? The harshest voices weren't just from fans. Even analysts gave her no support, leaving her with no choice. This ongoing hostility has taken its toll. She deserves a fresh start in a league that truly values and protects its best players. A league that doesn't allow them to be targeted. Just look at the NBA during Michael Jordan's rise. Even though Jordan was clearly the future and Nike was building a brand around him, the league still celebrated stars like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson alongside him. Now, according to reports, Caitlin Clark has received an extraordinary offer to play in Europe. While she appears ready to accept, the story runs deeper. Despite the fame, admiration, and undeniable impact she's had on the game, Caitlin has faced major challenges in the WNBA. From the league's failure to protect its stars to the lack of proper on-court support, these issues may now push her to make a decision that changes everything. This hearts or talked about in Instagram facement's a lonely player. Their working at unsafe is traditional city experiences. This is not player, could be one of the most shocking career decisions we have ever seen. Caitlin Clark has finally had enough of how she has been treated in the WNBA. After enduring countless frustrations, she is now making the decision to leave the league. The impact of her departure could send shockwaves through the WNBA and shake it to its very foundation. Caitlin Clark's decision to move to Europe and step away from the WNBA speaks volumes. Let's be honest, the WNBA has not always treated her with the respect and fairness that a player of her level deserves. Whether it has been the lack of protection on the court, the constant harassment from other players, or the league's failure to take real action, it is clear that Caitlin has had enough. Over and over again, we have seen opposing players get away with overly physical defense when guarding her. In many cases, the play has gone beyond aggressive and entered dangerous territory. It often feels like the league has turned a blind eye and allowed this to continue without consequences. Let's clear something up. Some people have tried to downplay Caitlin's performance, acting like she was not producing at a high level. No, that is simply not true. Andrea, I am not going to let you pretend that Caitlin Clark was averaging 5 points per game. At that time, she was averaging 16 points per game, which was more than many other guards who made the team. So do not twist the facts. Look at her numbers. Compare her stats to the other guards who were selected. That is all I am saying. You could even argue that the WNBA has let this mistreatment happen because they know Caitlin brings attention and higher viewership. A little controversy gets people talking. But for Caitlin, the lack of protection has gone beyond acceptable. Fans have noticed. Social media has been flooded with messages from supporters demanding fairness, safety, and respect for their favorite player. And yet, very little has changed. Now Caitlin Clark feels abandoned, as if the league never cared enough to make real improvements. People are watching women's basketball more than ever, but the way its stars are treated will determine its future. This all started with the national championship game, and I have been dealing with it for 2 years now. I understand that negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I will take that. Look at where women's basketball is today. People are finally talking about it. You never would have thought we would be having these conversations about women's basketball. One day, I will look back 20 years from now and say, the reason we are watching women's basketball today is not just because of one person, it's because of me too. And I want everyone to understand that. Caitlin Clark is finally listening to her fans. After going through season after season of unfair treatment and being constantly targeted, she has reached her breaking point. The league's lack of concern has pushed her to take control of her own future. She has made the bold decision to leave the WNBA and begin a new chapter. This new journey is about finding a space where her talent, passion, and impact on the game will be respected and fully appreciated. Now let's talk about the consequences. There is no need to soften the truth. The WNBA is about to experience a serious setback, and it is happening because they failed to recognize just how important Caitlin Clark was to their growth. Without her, the league will immediately struggle to keep the same audience and financial success. Whether it was casual fans or hardcore basketball followers, everyone tuned in when Caitlin Clark was on the court. She was the driving force behind the league's popularity. She brought so much attention to the game. People were showing up in droves just to watch her. She was turning Indiana Fever road games into packed arenas that felt like home games. The WNBA now faces the massive challenge of replacing everything she brought: the energy, the excitement, the spotlight. Yes, there are other talented players in the league, like DJ Carrington and Angel Reese. But the truth is, they do not have the same presence or commanding influence that Caitlin Clark had. This is not meant to take away from their skill, because both are outstanding athletes. However, Caitlin Clark brought something different. She was more than just a basketball player. She was a cultural phenomenon. Her fearless shooting and game-changing performances pulled people into the league in a way we have not seen before. Her ability to take over games and her fierce competitive spirit have made Caitlin Clark a must-watch athlete. The full impact of the Caitlin Clark effect is only now becoming obvious to the WNBA. Losing her would result in the loss of millions of dollars in revenue from ticket sales, merchandise, television partnerships, and sponsorships. It would be a major blow to the league. Even worse, it was entirely avoidable. The WNBA had every opportunity to show Caitlin the respect she earned as the face of the league. They had the chance to protect her on the court and provide her with the support she needed. But they failed at every turn. Look at the numbers. Draft day viewership increased by 400%. Ticket sales rose by 93%. Regular season game viewership jumped by 180%. What Caitlin Clark has done is grow the WNBA at an unbelievable rate. She accomplished in 5 weeks what would normally take 5 years. And when it came to draft viewership, she achieved that success in just 5 days. Despite this, the league let the problems pile up. They ignored the warning signs, and now they are about to feel the consequences. The WNBA is on the verge of finding out just how much it has lost. Caitlin Clark's exit may be the turning point that leads to long-term damage for the league's future. So what exactly has Caitlin Clark been offered in Europe? The numbers are jaw-dropping. According to multiple reports, the contract she has been promised is far greater than anything the WNBA has ever provided. In the EuroLeague, players are treated with the highest level of respect. Caitlin is being offered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The decision to go overseas almost made itself. Not only will she earn significantly more money, but she will also play fewer games, allowing her more time to rest, recover, and stay at peak performance. There may already be teams in Europe eager to bring her in and willing to give her an incredible offer. Even Ice Cube was ready to pay her $5 million to play fewer than 10 games in the Big Three. If that was on the table in the United States, imagine what is being offered to her in Europe. But this is not just about money. Europe is also giving Caitlin the chance to be the face of an entire league on a global stage. Picture her walking onto the court. The lights dim, the crowd rises to its feet. Thousands of fans erupt into cheers. The atmosphere is electric. You can feel the energy with every single roar from the crowd. Caitlin Clark is not just a basketball player. She is a phenomenon. And now, she may be taking her talents to the international spotlight. The sound echoes through the stadium as Caitlin Clark steps up to take a deep three. But this time, things feel different. The fans are not just there to watch a basketball game. They are there for her. The EuroLeague understands this and is ready to build its brand around her, treating her like the international superstar she has become. How does that feel? Do you care? This is not just about Europe giving Caitlin a new platform to dominate. It is also about turning her into the biggest basketball star in the world. The arenas are packed with passionate fans who cheer for her and celebrate every move she makes. Europe is ready to make sure that Caitlin Clark shines brighter than ever as she begins a new chapter in her career. But Caitlin is not the only one taking bold steps forward. Other WNBA players are beginning to look for better opportunities by following the same path and going overseas. For example, it has been reported that while Caitlin is heading to Europe, players like Kelsey Mitchell and Nalissa Smith have decided to play in China during the off-season. More WNBA athletes are slowly embracing this trend. They are realizing that playing internationally offers not only significantly better pay, but also improved overall treatment. In terms of salary and quality of experience, the WNBA simply cannot compete with what many international leagues are offering. All of this proves one thing: you need a star, and Caitlin Clark is that star. Players like Caitlin, Kelsey, and Nalissa are recognizing the benefits of playing fewer games, getting more rest, and earning more money. When you look at the schedules, compensation, and athlete care provided overseas, it becomes clear why more players are making this move. The decision to play abroad is becoming a smart and almost obvious choice. While all this is unfolding, sports commentator Jason Whitlock has suggested that Caitlin Clark should launch an entirely new league. A league where the best players in the world compete against each other during the WNBA offseason. This would allow players like Kelsey Mitchell and Nalissa Smith to earn top-level pay without having to leave the United States. Instead of traveling abroad, they could build their careers and earn their income right here in America, in a league filled with elite talent. Such a league would not only create better opportunities for athletes, but also transform women's basketball into something even more powerful and self-sustaining. With the rise of talent in the women's game, we are seeing some incredible prospects emerge. Yet, many of them will not receive the pay they truly deserve. Instead, they will be forced to rely on sponsorships to make a living. However, the idea of an unrivaled league introduces a completely new perspective. Returning to Caitlin Clark and the WNBA, this moment should be a massive wake-up call for women's basketball. The league is at serious risk of losing not only Caitlin Clark, but many other top-tier players as well. If the WNBA does not make significant changes in how it compensates and treats its athletes, it could soon face a major loss of talent. The truth is simple. Players no longer have to accept less when international leagues are offering them so much more. If the WNBA wants to prevent an even greater drain of talent in the future, it needs to reconsider its priorities, and quickly. Molly, really, Molly? I said, really, Molly? Wow. Perhaps the most shocking part of this entire situation is that the WNBA did not seem to make any real effort to keep Caitlin Clark. There was no major offer, there was no clear attempt to show how much she meant to the league. They let her go without resistance, which is a baffling decision. The WNBA let Clark slip away, even though she had the potential to become the biggest name in American sports. She was a once-in-a-generation talent. Letting her walk away is a massive mistake for a league that has spent years trying to grow its audience and become more competitive. Throughout the entire season, it seemed like Caitlin Clark was the answer to many of the league's challenges. Yet so many coaches, players, media members, and commentators constantly portrayed her as the problem. It never felt like she could do enough. It never seemed like she could say the right thing. Her fans were blamed. Fever fans were criticized. And now, the WNBA will have to live with this decision, a decision that is already affecting the league's future. The Caitlin Clark effect was real. Unlike any other player in recent memory, she was boosting the league's popularity, bringing in new fans, and generating excitement. With her departure, the WNBA must now face the difficult truth. They are no longer in control of the narrative, and they may have lost their biggest star for good. For a long time, the WNBA has tried to position itself as the top destination for the greatest women's basketball players in the world. Caitlin Clark was becoming a household name, generating an unmatched level of attention, excitement, and energy that the league had not experienced in years. But now, with better contracts being offered by overseas leagues, the WNBA's claim of being the premier league in women's basketball is beginning to fall apart. Clark's potential move to Europe highlights a deeper issue. Players are receiving better treatment, more compensation, and lighter schedules in other countries. These international leagues have quickly become more appealing options for top athletes. If the WNBA wants to recover from this, it will require serious effort, structural changes, and a new strategy. Otherwise, the league risks falling behind permanently. Caitlin Clark herself has admitted that basketball has completely taken over her life for the past year. She has said that it will be good for her to finally take a moment to reflect on everything that has happened. Her college career ended so quickly that she never had time to process or celebrate all she accomplished. Her move to Europe marks a turning point not just for her personally, but for the entire basketball landscape. It is a tremendous opportunity for Caitlin to continue growing her career in an environment where her skills will be fully appreciated, properly compensated, and where she will be treated as the superstar she is, both on and off the court. Playing in Europe will also allow her to evolve her game even further, on a global stage with massive fan support. But for the WNBA, this is nothing short of a disaster. The loss of Caitlin Clark will likely cause a steep drop in viewership, ticket sales, merchandise revenue, and overall fan engagement. She was not just a rising star. She was the face of the league. And now the WNBA must face the fallout of letting such a high-impact player slip away. Let's be honest. Would people rather watch Caitlin Clark sink deep three-pointers from the logo with her signature flair, or would they prefer to watch Angel Reese attempt basic 2-foot layups? The reality is that some are trying too hard to force relevance onto players who simply do not have the same skill set or fan appeal. Angel Reese may be getting attention, but it is largely because she happened to be in the same draft class as Caitlin Clark. Without Clark in the conversation, the dynamic shifts dramatically. Now the question becomes whether the WNBA can recover from this massive blow, or if this is only the beginning of a much larger crisis. Caitlin Clark's departure is not just about one player leaving. It represents the league's failure to retain top-tier talent in the face of better offers, better treatment, and more rewarding experiences overseas. If the WNBA wants to survive and thrive, it must act quickly. The future of women's basketball in America depends on it. And if you want to stay updated on everything happening in this story, be sure to subscribe and follow for more content today.